So no contact for 2 weeks. 2 weweeks later,
Right.
I'm working at Publix at the time. So
Right.
a lot of my shifts were 6 a.m. in the morning. I got bang on my window.
I'm sorry. Why is she banging on your window?
I didn't say it was her yet.
My bad.
So this is the last contact. So it's like 2 a.m. I got to be up at 5. So in 3 hours,
Right.
She's banging on my window, like sad and crying
Right.
and all this and drunk, clearly drunk.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, all right, like, sure, you can stay here.
Right.
Whatever. I'm going to be up in 3 hours. I got to go to work.
Right.
Like, I need to go back to bed. And it's like, if you want to talk about anything tomorrow, we talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she's just like, all right, thank you, whatever. Didn't hook up or anything that night. Then I woke up, said bye, I'll see you later. And then I went to work and I came back and she was gone. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal Podcast.
We're good, baby.
With our tech guru over there with like 18 different laptops, and
we got a lot going on here today, man. A lot going on.
We're trying to elevate each week, I suppose. But with my good friend, Mr. Cleon Deal.
Hello. Happy to be here. Every day is a good day, man.
So we switched some things up, so we'll see how that looks. Forgot we got to go onto we're Instagram Live, so then you got to see.
We're live on Instagram?
Oh, I mean
YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
I don't know all of my streaming platforms and things like that, but
yeah, we're working on it. You know, Brandon's a little bit of a,
I'm extremely slow. So yeah, you guys always got to bear with me, especially when it comes to technology. But the important thing about life is to constantly put yourself in environments that force you to grow and learn new things.
Absolutely.
And
amen.
Yeah. And I tell you what, like it's not fun to learn new things, but once you get the hang of it, it's like, oh, it was really not that hard. So it's really important to be uncomfortable. The saying is get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
You're never going to really be comfortable doing it until you get good at something. But there's the deal of the day, I guess.
Deal of the day, baby. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, man.
We kept forgetting.
We could say that every week.
Yeah, literally. So one day, the podcast would be so big. We'll have like a whole studio team.
Right.
Where all we got to do is sit down and record.
We just got to show up, man.
No setup. You don't even have to hit the buttons over there.
We're going to come here and be the talent. We're just the talent.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah. We don't need to be the production and the talent. But for now, that's what we are. Which is pretty cool because, you look around, it's like, hey, we set this up.
Yeah, man. We really did it.
We are the production team and the talent. And we just get up here and have a good time.
We can put this on our resumes. Absolutely.
Yeah, literally. So if you guys need anybody to teach you how to set up a podcast, run it, go live on YouTube at the same time.
Yeah.
We're your people because we did it.
Yeah. So, and I'm live on TikTok. Hey, for everybody who's joining this live on TikTok, let me know. Just make sure you can hear me, man. Just let me know you can hear me on the live.
So Cleon's a famous artist now. So they allowed him to go live on TikTok, which is
it's not even my artist page. It's my regular page.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I guess
Come
technically.
on, bro. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. Hey, man. I just try to be transparent for the people.
No. Cleon Deal is a famous artist, and he's allowed to go live on TikTok. So
yeah. They let me do whatever here, man. We're just having a good time.
Which is crazy, because I tried to do it, and they didn't. There wasn't an option for me.
Yeah, man.
Because I only got like 50 followers on there.
Wow.
So follow the TikTok for the Real Deal Podcast. It's the same as Instagram now. We did a name change. Real Deal Convos.
Real Deal Convos, baby. Short, streamlined, to the point.
Make it a lot easier to announce that. So
findability. That's what we're into.
Yes. We are in March, which we just had 3 guests in a row.
3 guests in a row.
So very interesting. All women. And, we did that on purpose because it's International Women's Month. And
yeah, baby.
Our favorite.
We love women.
Yeah. What can we say? What can we say? We do have one more for the International Women's Month series.
Right.
One more woman guest. English is hard sometimes.
One more woman guest.
One more woman guest. But yeah, so one more for the International Women's Month, whatever thing we just did. We're going to do another series. We'll probably talk about it today. We don't even know what we're going to talk. Well, actually, I know what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to kind of put Cleon on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, apparently. So we're going to have some fun today.
It's nothing bad for you, but I feel like, the people who listen to this, they love to be educated, but they also love to be entertained.
Right.
What's better than an entertaining story, and one that apparently keeps following you 10 years later. So
okay, all right, let's get into it.
I gotta just let you guys know, like some people just never grow up, and it's not their fault.
It's not their fault
because they don't know. They don't know any better.
They don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So if you never knew about personal development,
right,
and getting better each day and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to continuously grow as an individual, then you're never going to know. And you're going to continuously live in that period of your time.
That's a fact.
And it just, when I was growing up, you could see this a lot as with adults around you. As you get older, you're like, why are these adults? They're like in their 40s. They're still partying with their high school kids. And it's like,
that's crazy.
But in your head, or in my head, when I saw it, I'm just like, okay, it's like, they're adults. They can do what they want, essentially.
I mean, technically.
And they know everything because they're adults. And then you become an adult and you're like, all right. These people aren't as smart as I thought they were. Same thing with doctors. It's like, all right, well, there's actually some really dumb doctors as well. But that's a conversation for another day when we get Dr. G on. Oh, yeah. and his wife. So we'll have 2 doctors on here. These are extremely smart doctors. They know what they're doing.
Right.
But today, I wanted to talk about the topic of rent-free.
Rent-free.
And what does that mean to you, rent-free?
Well, obviously, ideally, rent-free means your rent's free. But I know that's not where we're going today.
Sure?
The social media.
It's 3/22 today. Rent's doing about, is it 31 days in this month?
Something like that.
9 days, 8 days. So we could be talking about free rent.
Yeah, the social media term that's being thrown around for rent free means that basically you're taking up space in somebody's head. No matter, you could just be living your life and they got a problem with you. You're just living there rent free. You don't have any interactions with them. You don't have any run-ins with them. But for whatever reason, you're on their mind. It's a beautiful and a romantic thing when you think about it.
I think it's awesome.
It's just love and hate at the same time. Shout out to Drake. I think he said that somewhere.
Yeah. So I think you explained it well. It's like you're living in someone's head, essentially rent free, with no obligation to be there or anything like that. What do you think about, let's say, somebody who is living in your head rent free? Like, why do people do that? Like, what causes somebody to do that? Has that ever happened to you, or do you let anybody live in your head rent free?
Okay, so which one of these do you want me to answer here?
Do you let anybody live in your head rent free?
Absolutely not, man.
Absolutely not. And why? Why don't you?
Because I have things to do. What we have to understand is that your mental health is something that is super, super important. And the more you spend that, because when somebody's on your mind rent free, it means that this is typically somebody who's not really a part of your everyday life. It's not somebody that you're interacting with.
I don't even know this kid.
So what that means is that if I'm allowing you to take up real estate in my mind for absolutely no reason, that's a reflection on me. I have a problem. That means there's something in me that for whatever reason you're triggering. And I just don't got the time for that. There's nobody that has that amount of power that I don't know. You can't have that power over me if I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? That's not where I'm at.
No.
Oh, okay. Kind of. So let's talk about it, Brandon. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to get your opinion on the take, like raw opinion without me saying anything about it. I honestly think it's extremely flattering, and
It's flattering.
something that just happened last night. So I was like, oh, this would be great.
Mm-hmm.
We we kind of went on the fly with today's episode and what we want to talk about. I'm like, oh,
Right.
this is perfect
Yeah.
because sometimes we got to give you guys some tea, and
Yeah.
it's a hot podcast, humble, open, and transparent, and we
Yes,
got to
sir.
be transparent with our lives.
Right.
So one more question,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I kind of jump into the story
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a really brief story.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of build up the
I got you.
anticipation.
Let's make it drama. Let's make it.
So you wouldn't let like somebody live in your head rent free. What adjectives would you use to describe somebody who does do that?
You partially, I guess jealousy would be the first thing that comes to mind. I think that another thing would be, how am I trying to explain this? You have to have a real tendency to just hold on to things.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, like you have to have a bad habit of not letting go of things. If somebody is taking up real estate in your mind and you're not having interactions with them, you're, I guess, today's word, a good word today would be you're not healed. You're an unhealed person because of whatever this is. You can't seem to let it go. That's how I would kind of describe something like that.
So I definitely agree with you. So anybody who's watching this, or listen to this podcast episode, make sure you send this episode to that individual and make sure that he heals, because
make sure that he heals.
I love, and that's I just want people to be happy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if I'm in your head still, 10 years later,
10 years later, okay,
come
all
on,
right, 10 years. Now we got a timeline.
10 years.
Okay,
so basically the story is we already talked about this. It was a college relationship because college was about 10 years ago.
Right.
Well, I graduated in 2016. It's for you guys to know my age again. But this was my college relationship. Remember when we talked about that on Skeletons? I was like, I didn't know how to be in a relationship because it was really close to all the stuff happening to me in high school, and I just knew I didn't want to be in one. And then one happened.
Yeah.
And then she ended up leaving me for her high school, whatever. And now they got married.
Right.
Years later, whatever. It's a dead horse. It's gone. It's gone.
It's over.
The relationship didn't even last that long. It was maybe like 5 months.
Oh, okay.
Nothing even crazy. Like 5-6 months top. So it wasn't even a long, like super long relationship.
Right.
But this is also the same couple that like we have friends. Friends in the same friend group.
Okay. Yeah. That,
what I'm saying?
Always gets a little bit testy.
And this couple or this guy, he's married and they have a kid together now.
Okay.
And they've been had a kid together. I wasn't even allowed to go to we usually do like a Christmas reunion party, or we used to. We don't anymore. I wasn't even allowed to go to that because they were going to be there. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I wasn't allowed to go to my friend's wedding because they were going to be there.
That's crazy.
I'm like, that's a little crazy, but all right, that's okay.
They're blackballing you, man.
Yeah. But now it's funny because one of our other mutual friends had a wedding. I definitely didn't expect to get invited to this wedding.
Right.
But shout out to them. They're good people. And that's actually how I met my tattoo artist, from the guy who got married. But
gotcha.
Another story. My best friend is at this wedding.
Okay.
Who I was the best man in his wedding.
Gotcha.
Because, like I said, mutual friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So I appreciate Max, giving me a little topic to talk about.
Yeah, shout out Max, man.
Hey, it's rent free now. Now it's rent free in my head, just for the day only, and then next week when this airs. But I like to give you guys some tea, and anything that's going on in my life, I gotta let you guys know.
Yeah,
because I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. So we gotta give you guys a little bit of tea. He texted me last night when we were at work and talking about the kid, and he's like, "Yeah, he keeps bringing up your name." And I told him, like, just shut the F up. Like, why you even, like, I'm his best friend. Why are you talking to me about him?
Right.
Like, saying I'm a bad person. And if I had a dad, I would be a better person.
Wow.
And stuff. I'm like, all I was thinking was rent free this long. So, homie, hey, if you're listening, she can't unfuck me. And that's all I'm going to say. I hope you heal.
So hold on.
I hope you guys send this to him. But
hold on, wait. So for just to make sure we're all on the same page. So this gentleman is now, like you said, currently married to a girl who you used to be involved with, and then
very brief. My college girlfriend.
very brief
Yeah.
involvement, and then obviously you guys were part of the same friend group, and then she ends up moving from you to him, basically in that friend group.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay,
So it was like, let's call it like two fraternities here. The one that I'm with all my boys, and then the one he's with all his boys.
Right.
And then a sorority of girls that some of the girls were with them in there, but they're all friends. So then all like guys started to be friends.
Complicated. Okay.
So essentially.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's get some questions in on this. What did you? So how did that go? So after she had decided to move from you to him, what was the relationship like after that? Did you and him not talk anymore, or what was that?
No, it was completely like basically cut off cold turkey. Oh yeah, no, I remember now.
Okay.
So I was with her, and then somebody had called her at nighttime. This is the story.
Okay.
Somebody I was with her. This is in college. I was with her, and somebody had called her at nighttime, and I had already met her family at this point. So I mean, I guess it was like a little bit. So I was like, I was on the outside of the bed. I was like, oh, let me just go grab your phone. And she's like, no, and rolled over me to go get. I'm like,
rolling over you to go and get it.
So I was literally, I'm a very like overthinking, analytical person, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, for 2 hours just laying in bed, like,
yeah.
Who called you?
Right. That's
because she said it was her mom, and I was like, I already knew her mom, so I was like, she would let me. And then after that, it was like, then she ended up telling me, and then we broke up. I was all right, whatever. And then there was no conversation or whatever. And I think this is the part that he still holds on to, and he gets so mad about is 2 weeks later. So no contact for 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I'm working at Publix at the time, so a lot of my shifts for 6 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
I got bang on my window.
I'm sorry. Why is she banging on your window?
I didn't say it was her yet.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
So this is the last contact. So it's like 2 a.m. I got to be up at 5. So in 3 hours,
right?
She banging on my window, like sad and crying and all this, and drunk, clearly drunk. So I'm like, all right, like sure, you can stay here.
Right.
Whatever. I'm gonna be up in 3 hours. I gotta go to work. Right. Like I need to go back to bed. And it's like, if you want to talk about anything tomorrow, we talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she's just like, all right, thank you, whatever. Didn't hook up or anything that night. Then I woke up, said bye, I'll see you later. And I went to work and I came back and she was gone. Okay. So then I was like, oh, okay. So she was probably like drunk and sad and it came over.
Sure.
So, and clearly he knows about that. So I think that's what he was so mad about is like, even though she was with him, she still wanted to come back and try and choose me. So I think that
consolation a little bit.
Could be. Obviously an ego thing, but definitely hope you heal. But like I said, I love, and there's no like bad blood towards her. This guy's just a little punk. So I think it's a funny story, and yeah, you're gonna get blasted online. Go, I don't care. Like, I got to share the tea, and it's rent free, baby. So
you guys haven't spoken in 10 years. You and this guy?
No. I saw them. So graduated in 2016 to give you a timeline.
Okay.
I did see both of them, maybe like 2018 at the USF bar crawl.
Okay.
But it was all like I'm a happy drunk. I was drunk, I was talking to everybody, and they were in our friend group, and I'm just like being happy, right? Like trying to be nice and stuff. And then he's the one that's like, get on my face. I'm like, okay, and I got away. I was like, all right. So he was all butthurt and stuff, and then that was it. And then they're also friends with my other buddy who they did like a when he was getting married. They all actually came to the club, right? And them two both came in, and I was so respectful. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back.
Hey man, shout out to you, man.
When they came up, I walked away. I didn't let there be an interaction, right? Because I'm like, I don't care about water under the bridge. My job is to make sure you guys go in and have a good time, right? So I didn't even wristband them. Like when I be wristbanding, yeah. I moved away and I let someone else did it. I just said what's up to my boy, and then I walked away and let them handle the rest of the people getting up there. Right. And then that was it. There's never been any other conversation since that one time in 2018 was technically the last conversation. Yeah. So we're in 2025 and there's really been no conversation. So all these years rent free. And I just think it's hilarious.
That's interesting. So let's you know what I'm saying, let's have some fun with this just a little bit. So I'm curious though, because
I'm
obviously,
curious too, to be honest.
I'm curious because obviously when it comes to like interactions, right? I to this day I wouldn't expect. Well, maybe right
Grown
because
man.
I'm thinking about, let's say when I was in college or whatever. Like let's say you're a perpetual girl stealer, right? Let's say that's your thing.
But they were not together when I was there.
Sure,
Yeah,
you know, but let's say
when
that
we got
that's the
together.
case, right? I just wonder, I guess, what the statute of limitations is. How long, let's say, if somebody took a girl from you, right? I know this isn't necessarily what happened here, but how long do you feel like you should be mad about something like that? Somebody that you were cool with.
Someone, I want to say I was cool with. Make sure you keep in the angle.
I got you.
I mean, I wouldn't say I was. I mean, someone has done that. I
Right.
wouldn't say I was like cool with him. He was.
Right.
I was never cool with this kid either, though. But no, I mean, it's water under the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I love love. So if I used to make all the jokes about like I'm good luck Chuck. So literally, if you're with me, you find, and she's one of them.
Right.
You know, you marry the next person you're with, and that's happened with multiple of my ex-girlfriends. It's water under the bridge. You know, if you're happy, that's
Right.
all that matters.
That's
I
all
don't
that
really
matters.
care about it. So I don't understand why you would. I don't know.
Especially since you're the one who started with her, right? Because
well, they were in high school, and then I met her in college.
Oh,
and then they got back together.
And then so you were somewhere in between. So you were like the college fling that
briefly, yeah. It wasn't.
So she left him for you originally.
They were already broken up.
But you know,
I didn't know about them until they got back together. I had no idea about them.
How broken up were they? I think that's the question. Because from high school to college,
at least a few months. Yeah, that's a question.
I know.
Should we phone a friend?
should we give her a call? Because that's typically
all my phones are used for cameras.
Yeah. I know how that goes a lot of the time with the whole transitioning from high school to college. That whole we're not together anymore, but they're not together because somebody moved away.
I was not a good person in college either.
Right, so it's not like it would have mattered if they were still together to you at that point, right?
No, but she wasn't. She wasn't. Like we were actually dating. Like we were boyfriend and girlfriend at one point in time. You can't be boyfriend and girlfriend with two. I mean, you could.
You absolutely could. So did he?
She wasn't the type of person to do that. I don't think. But at the end of the day, I didn't really know. It was a short period of time.
Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
I give her the benefit of the doubt over
you're a nice guy for giving her the benefit of the doubt.
I think he's the reason I wasn't allowed to go to the weddings.
You think so? You think he put in a petition to keep you away from there?
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So that's interesting. So can I tell a story?
Yeah, tell a story.
So something similar like this happened to me. Well, I don't know if there's been any chatter about me. I don't think there has been, right? But a similar situation to which a young lady I was involved with and somebody that's close to me decided to step in and take over the mantle. This was back in the AIL days when we used to sell insurance. Let's get into it.
Oh,
man.
Hold up, shit, that did happen to me at AIL too. But you see, I don't even remember it, right? It's not in my head no more. He don't live rent free in my head, bro. I have a thing. I love Drake, so it was never your girl, it was just your turn.
This is so I think we can agree that a lot of terrible things happened to us during that period of our lives. But
was it the same person?
Same person. So the one girl that I was involved with during our AIL day. So this is what happened.
Was he married?
Let's just focus for a second. What? Wait, who? What? Wait, what? What are you talking about?
The dude who's the dude?
Oh no. I'm getting there. No, God.
I was about to say that's what I was saying.
No. So basically, what happened was that. So I'll tell the story from the beginning. So basically, there's a time where obviously her and I had our big falling off sort of thing where we were talking, and then I had like cut it off or whatever. You know, I had her blocked, and then she came banging on my door and all that other fun
and then
stuff.
The sticky notes
and everything like that.
Good story.
Yeah, good. Thank you. So we had cut that. That's in episode 4, by the way, if you want the full story.
Episode 4 is a good one.
So after that, a period of time. her and I started conversing again. So we kind of were able to have a conversation, after that, and we were cordial, right? So every now and then we talk, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case is. So fast forward to where we're having conversations. I had talked, I had introduced her to, a few of the homies or whatever, because that's what we did back then.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we did.
That's what I did in high school.
That's what we did, Everybody meets the, whatever shorty you involved with, whatever. But it was at a point where I wasn't really trying to engage with her on like a romantic level. It was more so on a thing like, saying we're cool, we'll have conversations, but like I can't get back into this. And at this time, she was still in Florida at the time. But basically what happened was her and I were having a few conversations, and she was kind of getting upset about us, not being there. And I'm like, look, this is just not something that we're probably going to be doing again. But as we're having these conversations, she starts mentioning my friend who I introduced her to. So she was like, yeah, he was kind of right because he was talking about X, Y, and Z. I was like, all right, I let this last first. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, that's cool. And then we were having another conversation, and she was talking about how she was like, oh yeah, well, your friend had offered to come and help me move because I'm going to be moving. So she was living in Florida, he's in Maryland. So she was like, oh, he had offered to come help me move my stuff, and I was like, what? I was like,
oh wait.
Now, mind you, I talk to him pretty regularly, daily, if not every other day. I'm like, I don't know about this. So I hit up the group chat, and I'm like, hey,
who trying to be Eskimos?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, well, what's why is she telling me that you supposed to be making a trip here? Because I always trying to get my guys out. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to get my guys out to Florida, and now I'm hearing from Shorty that apparently she's gonna be getting assistance moving. I'm like, first of all, you don't help nobody move. Nobody wants to help anybody move. I'm like, you gonna come to Florida to do it? I'm like, that's a little. I'm like, so what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I asked a question about. He's like, oh, I'm just trying to get a free ticket to Florida. She said she would pay for my ticket if I came out there. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? That's my man's for the last 10 years. I'm gonna let it go. It is what it is. And then it came to a point where her and I, still going through our regular flow. We'll talk or whatever the case is. And then one day she tells me that she has a boyfriend. And I said, okay, well, congratulations on that. I'm happy for you. So it was cool. It was nothing crazy. And then not too long after that, she tells me, she's like, hey, so my boyfriend isn't really comfortable with me and you talking to each other. So I don't think we can talk anymore. I'm like, I mean, that's cool. I respect it. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, why does your boyfriend know about me? Why for what reason why would you go into, because all the things that happened between me and her. That's not a story you just go and tell your boyfriend, hey, by the way, this whole thing happened. You know what I'm saying? That's just not a story that you tell to your significant other unprovoked. Unless you ask them what's the worst thing that ever happened to you, and they have to share the story.
That's insane.
So I'm like, that is very odd, because why would he know about me? So I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, all right, cool. I respect the decision. So I hit up the group chat. I'm like, hey, so I sent the screenshot. I was like, yo, look at this. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of laughs about it. Cool. Nothing crazy. Fast forward, like probably like a week later or something. Like it was a Thursday night. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was a Thursday night. It's like 1 a.m. I had a friend who had just left my apartment. It was a work night. And so I get up, I go through social media a little bit before I get in bed, and I get on my Snapchat. I noticed she had posted a Snapchat story. So I'm like, oh, well, what's this? Because I'm just going through the stories. I click on the story, and I see that basically she's in like the back seat of some car. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this must be her and the boyfriend or whatever. So basically she's in the back of some car with her feet in a guy's lap. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Whatever, cute, whatever. And so she pans the camera up. She pans the camera up, and guess whose face I see?
Your boy.
My boy.
And he didn't say a word.
Didn't say a word about it. And once again, I don't know whether they're in Florida. I don't know whether they're in Maryland.
Oh, you're not friends with him no more?
I have. So this is what happened, right? So I see that. I lose it.
Of course. I would lose on him. At least you got to mention. You got to say something as the dude. At the end of the day.
But here's
The dude got to say something.
here's my thing is this, right? Because we had as boys, unfortunately, ladies, I'm going to give you some truth here. We have conversations about girls that we are no longer involved with, and if you are on or off limits, that's just what the case is. Unfortunately, when we were worse people back in the day, we would have those conversations.
Exactly. Now I'm celibate.
Yeah,
So
now I don't really,
don't even worry about it.
We don't involve ourselves in that. But at the time, we would talk about, yes or no. So there were some girls like, yeah, go ahead. If you can bag her, you can have her. You know what I'm saying? That's you can bag her, you can have her, Brody. That is what it is. But there's other girls where you're like, absolutely not. That's a hard no. You guys, because of the history, because of the interaction. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not a cool.
No.
Exactly.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much.
Exactly.
I don't want to see you with her. It's too much.
Yeah. So we had that conversation and we came to an understanding. So I thought. So when I see this, I lose it, and I had sent a few messages to her that I'm not necessarily proud of, and I said a couple of
emotion makes us do a lot of stupid things.
And I want to be clear, I don't really be talking to people crazy. That was one of the very few moments that I kind of lost it a little.
I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah, it was not great. But also I sent him a text too, and I was like, yo, I was like, this is. I'm like, you would do something like this over a girl over a girl that I've already been with is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing is like if this is new to both of us, this is just new to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's just absolutely crazy, and I never got a response from him. That was the last time we spoke until his little brother had a wedding, and that's what I'm saying, that's little bro.
Did you get invited?
Yeah, I got invited to the wedding. I went.
Oh, were they both there?
They were. Well, no. He was there. She wasn't there.
Are they still together?
No. God, no. And that's really the thing that actually partially aggravates me about it, because I'm like, if you're gonna ruin a brotherhood and a friendship, I'm like, I prefer you get married over it. You know what I'm saying?
If you're gonna ruin it, fully ruin it. Come on, man.
Make it something worthwhile. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To ruin a relationship over some.
Woman
over some pleasure, over some intercourse,
over some lust.
You know what I'm saying? Is absolutely crazy to me, because I'm like,
he just had no game. He couldn't pull. He needed your assist.
That wasn't the problem. But at the end of the day, you got to understand the quality of women. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When obviously in your friend groups, you know who
you talk about it. You know who's on limits and who's not.
But also kind of when it comes to the girls' interaction, who's probably the best one that's going to be talking to the girls. Who's best at talking to girls, who's best at pulling, whatever the case is. This just happened to be
better with the words.
Exactly, stuff like that. So he had no issue really getting girls. That wasn't a problem. None of us really had issues getting girls, but it was the proximity of, obviously I'm in Florida. He's where I'm from. So the caliber in women is different. It's a different thing.
Hey,
so
don't talk too much crap about Maryland.
I'm from a very unfortunately I'm from a very small city. But if I were to really take probably the 6s and 7s from here and bring them back to the city, they'd run it. To be absolutely clear. So I get it, because what I'm saying, it's better than what you're seeing there. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying, we had a discussion. So yeah, that was but yeah, I saw him at the wedding. I went up and I spoke, what I'm saying? We had a brief conversation and I left.
What did the conversation sound like? You don't have to go word for word, but can you just paraphrase?
It was completely cordial. You know what I'm saying? I just said, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? It's good to see you. He's like, yeah, man, you look good. He's like, yeah, he's like, we gotta chop it up. We gotta talk. I was like, yeah, man. He hit me up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna call you. I was like, all right, that's a bet. My number's still the same. Never did. And that was in.
It's like a dog with the tail up under his leg. Like, I don't want to call him. I don't want to call him.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold grudges or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That is just what happened at the time. It is what it is.
Rent free, baby. Rent free.
I
do want to apologize for saying the F word. I'm not going to edit it out.
Yeah.
I'm here to make a point.
Talk to him, Brandon.
I can only be who I'm meant to be. I will apologize for saying the F word, but I needed to say it to get the point across. You know what I mean? So to my friends, I hope, to my friends that noticed, sorry, I'm not going to say no names. I don't need to say no names, but yeah, send it to me, man. I hope he heals. And if you need some good book recommendations, I recommend
Some good book.
the what's the one by The Untethered Soul.
Great book.
Untethered Soul, and probably Unfuck Yourself is probably a good one.
Mhm.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is also a good one. So I
Yeah.
would start with those 3 books.
We're gonna have to beep some of these out. Crap! You should have prepped me for that. I could have put the beeps in.
It just went, yeah, guys. Sorry, this is I usually try and refrain from it, but he rent free in my head right now, so I'm not afraid to admit it. But other than this episode, I don't even know the kid's name after this. I definitely remember his wife though.
Nope. Nope. We're not doing this today.
Someone told me the kid kind of looked like me.
That's
just
crazy. Come on, man.
I'm joking. Hey, beat him while he's down. You already know his ego's hurt, so I gotta take jabs at it.
That's crazy.
But no, I do wish you guys marriage the best of luck, and keep aging terribly. I'm gonna keep aging gracefully, and your wife looks great still. I wish nothing but the best to you guys and your half beautiful family, because the wife still looks good. But it's a learning process for you, buddy. And we're here for you. We'll pray for you. And if you need any other educational or entertainment content, follow us at Real Deal Convos on Instagram and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and we got some good episodes for you to listen to, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two from us and the people that we bring on. And know that even if you grow up without a father, you can still become a good man, make money, look good.
There it is.
Not be a total douchebag, a-hole.
Yeah. It's possible.
And have other people live rent free in your head.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say. I just got to say it a couple more times, because so you guys can send it to him. Make sure he really gets the message. But I love, man. And that's one thing that I'll always be an advocate for, is people falling in love and getting married, man. That stuff is wonderful.
Beautiful,
it's beautiful. And I really do wish the marriage the best.
Right.
You, on the other hand, you got a lot of work to do. You better to start taking some looks at yourself internally and figure out what happened in your childhood that made it possible for you to just hold on to things for so long. Because this has been 10 years. And if I'm in your head rent free over my college fling that lasted for 5 months, what else are you holding on to, man?
So what's here, and I don't know the young lady, but the thing is, it's very possible that he was told something about you that may not have been true, or maybe something that he was told that you did something and it's very
she could have
possible.
told him I had the BFD, which is boyfriend. I'm not saying the other word. So I don't want to say. So.
It's possible that he's under the impression of something that may not be 100% correct, and that's why he is held a grudge against you. Because otherwise, it doesn't really make any sense. But that would be the question about, why do you still feel this way?
I don't even care to find out unless we call him in right now and be like, hey, we're talking about you, buddy.
Let's chop it up.
Let's chop it up. But yeah, no, I wish the marriage the best of luck, to be honest, because I hate when marriages end.
Right.
It's never fun to see. It's not fun for the people to go through. But definitely, you got a kid to raise, man. Don't be thinking about me. Think about your family. Think about your kid. Think about how you can be a better parent and a better father for your child. Don't be thinking about me, bro. I'm good. I am really good over here. I promise you that. Which leads me to another thing that I want to talk about, which is like really important, to look inward when you're feeling things.
Yeah.
And this is literally what I just had to do this past week. I realized that I have abandonment issues, which, makes sense. Growing up without a father, like I had seen my mom I was my mom's third kid at 23. I did the math. I said 25 before, but I was her third one at 23.
Right.
So I seen her with multiple dudes before she met my stepdad when I was 10 that she's with now, who unfortunately has cancer now, but
right.
Who met my stepdad when I was at age 10. So that early adolescent years, like I seen that thing. So that's probably where oh, which part is funny? Please let me know. That's probably where I started to develop those abandonment issues. And why I'm bringing this up is because I'm talking to somebody. I'm not going to name no names. It's early stages,
Right?
Early stages. So we're not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
But very, very trustworthy person. Like I trust her. All this. There's like no doubt in my head that she would ever do anything wrong or bad or anything like that.
Right.
But she went on a work trip. And we only see each other once a week. Like I set that boundary early to really take it slow because I know how I am as an individual. And like, I want to be like with you all the time, all that. But no, set that boundary. It's only one day a week. And that week before she left, we didn't hang. And then she was gone for about a week. So I'm like, getting all this. I'm getting anxious. And she's gone on a work trip. I'm like, why am I so anxious? Why do I feel the need for I feel like I need some attention from her.
Right.
And I'm a very, I like to be alone. So I'm like, where's all this coming from? And I started like thinking about it. And it was like 2 days went by. I'm like, bro, why am I still so anxious? And I'm still doing my normal morning routine, meditating stuff. And I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like thinking, and I had to sit down and I had to find a label to what I was feeling. I'm like, this has to be
something.
It has to be something. I'm like, is this abandonment issues?
Wow.
And as soon as I put a label to it, it felt like a relief. I'm like, and as a guy, you never want to. It's very, it feels very feminine to put a label on something like that. Like, oh, I got abandonment issues.
Right.
You know, I'm a tough man. I got but you don't want to be saying that kind of stuff. So I felt like
that's the ego talking.
Yeah. So I felt like this, like almost instant relief of it to like, oh, maybe I do have that. Let me do some research on this. Let me go into AI and figure out. I was like, this kind of sounds like what I'm feeling, because you just start to flip the script in your brain and like turn it real negative. And
right.
I'm like, hold on, no. Right. And then I try to think back to another time where I felt this, and it happened before. You know, the relationship I was in, I ended up in jail. But thank God for me going to jail, because a lot of good things happened from that. It was a great field trip. After it was over. But other than that, and I started thinking about the time when I was in a talking stage with her, and she had went on a trip. It wasn't a work trip. She like went to a wedding, but it was already planned.
Right.
And I was like so anxious and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like, all right. And it's almost the same exact feeling. Totally different scenarios and situations.
Right.
But same exact feeling. So I was like, I put the label on it, and it helped everything feel a lot better. And it was you just have to sit with your emotion and your feelings sometimes, and figure out what it is, where it came from, because a lot of this stuff does come up from our childhood traumas or our past experiences. Like me growing up without a dad, and me seeing my mom with like different guys early on before she met the guy she married,
right? And
the early high school relationship, you know, that ended with my best friend starting to date my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like all those little things. And you think that you grew up and grew out of them.
Right.
But then you get a feeling, and you can't block that feeling. You got to sit with it and figure out what it is. And then that was just a cool little realization that comes with constantly doing the work.
Right.
And that's something my buddy needs to do.
I said all that to say.
Buddy, if I can do it, I promise you can do it too, man. But it was just a cool feeling to like label it and kind of sit with it, and you know, ask ChatGPT or Claude, all the AI stuff that you know, like, hey, what triggers abandonment, and what is it exactly? And I'm like, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense. This kind of makes sense. So if you have these feelings, figure out where they come from. If someone's living in your head rent free, figure out why. What happened to you for you to continue to want to think about this person.
Right.
Because it has nothing to do with that person, I promise you. Like this 10 years down the road has nothing to do with me. All my other exes, like their boyfriends aren't talking about me. Their husbands aren't talking about me.
Right.
Why am I still in his head rent free? So if that is you, or the other situation is you, and you have all this anxiety over a situation, that's something that happened, literally you got to sit with yourself and try and find a label for it.
Right.
And that's what I did. I was trying to find a label. I said, what is this? What can I call it? Is it a little bit of jealousy? It might be a little bit of jealousy, but why? Why am I seeking attention? Why am I feeling anxious?
Right.
Why is that person living in your head rent free? Figure it out. Otherwise, they're always going to live there.
Right.
And that's just like you were talking about earlier. That's going to take away time from you and your family, or that takes emotional energy from yourself.
A lot.
So sit with it, label it, and figure out why. Figure out what happened in your life to make you still hold on to those things or feel that way. Right. And things we talked about anxiety and depression before, like it's going to come and go, and it's going to come randomly out of nowhere. And that's what this one did. I'm like, when I'm anxious, it's like you don't want to do nothing, don't want to talk to nobody, and it's like, why am I feeling like this?
Right.
What's going on here? And that's how depression can be. Any kind of mental illness, like it can just come hit you randomly out of nowhere.
Right.
Figure out what caused it, what triggered it, and then label it, figure out what it is in order to sit with it and work, or after you sit with those emotions and work through it. And that's my 2 cents on rent free.
Yes, that's 2 cents on rent free. Wow.
That's my 99 cents on rent free.
Yeah. I'm glad you got that off your chest, man.
It felt good, man. This is my therapy. I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. Free therapy today. Big shout out to my dog, Max, man, for giving us this topic today, because I felt like it was good.
Yeah.
I felt like, we needed to get back to our roots a little bit, get a little bit of tea. We are both on our personal development journey.
Amen.
And we're constantly trying to get better. And we want to bring people into our space,
right,
and share them with you that we have crossed paths with, that we think can help you guys through their own experience and through their stories,
right,
just like we do. Yeah. So that's why we kind of bring guests on that can share their story and share what they're going through, so you can hear something else. It's like, all right, well, they're going through it, I can go through it too, or they did, I can do it too. But we got to get back to our roots sometime and give you a little bit of tea.
Yeah.
And then flip it to how you can use it to get better as well.
There's always got to be a lesson, man. There's a lesson in everything. Go find it.
You never lose, you just learn.
There it is.
If you guys can live by that, it's never a loss. You just learn it. You just learning. So you got anything else you want to talk about on this topic?
Nah, I'm good on this one, man. I'm I'm good on this one.
I will apologize for all the cuss words. It is unlike me, but like the topic is today, man. Just like I was in his head rent free, he was in my head today rent free. But that's all it's going to be. So since he was in my head rent free, I had a couple choice words. But with that being said, I love. I wish you guys the best.
Yeah.
I wish all the weddings, especially the two that just got married this weekend, I wish you guys a happy and successful marriage as well.
Love weddings.
If you're feeling any kind of emotions about people where you need to talk about them and they're not in the room, instead of having a face-to-face conversation with them, figure out why you feel the need to talk about them instead of going and talking to them. If you feel you can talk about somebody and not to them, then the problem isn't them. The problem is you.
But and also, if you don't have the access to talk to them face to face, chances are it's not somebody you should have a problem with. If they are that far out of reach of your circle where you can't reach them to have a face to face conversation,
it might not. It might not. But you can find everybody social media nowadays.
Absolutely.
So if you can't have a conversation with them to the face, why are you talking about them? If someone's living in your head rent free, figure out why. You got to do the work, or they're always going to be there. It's going to be another 10 years. I'm still going to be there, bro. And I'm going to be a wife and kids, a mansion, all this stuff. We're going to have the biggest podcast in the world.
Like, in the world, baby.
All this stuff's about to happen. And you still going to be talking. I knew that kid. He has a podcast. You slept with my wife. Yeah, bro. It's not that serious, bro.
Whoa.
All right, this was before they were married, but it just makes it more funny when you say it that way.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But I love you guys. We are going to start a red flag series here pretty soon, and some of the stuff we talk about, we'll probably go over as well, like rent free, emotional intelligence, being able to figure out why you're feeling what you're feeling is super important, because relationships can be extremely tricky.
Yeah,
and they're not easy. We're not we're professional relationship failures, but I've learned enough to this one. Who knows? It's still in the early stages, but I'm gonna keep you guys.
Hey man, I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for you, dog.
She's not Latina.
What? Sometimes what you want is not what you need, ladies and gentlemen.
Sometimes
your type should not be what you are with.
Sometimes your plan isn't God's plan. And with that being said, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Oh shit, I used the wrong